Hello, everybody. It's Friday. It is Friday all day long. I'm glad to be here with you today. Trying to make some space on my desk, which is full. Chance and I are here with you. Yes. Can you see him? I think you can. Hello, Sharon. Yeah, so we're here. It's good to be here. Good to see you and to be seen. It's Friday. Hello, Gail. Hi, Nanette. Hello, Purple Nana Linda. Hi, Tori. It is cold and wet here, too. It definitely is. Hi, Connie. Hi, Noeet. It's good to see you guys. I'm not going to be on very long, but I'm going to be here for a little bit. Yeah. So, let's see if I can rearrange myself a little bit. Let's see. Hi, Teresa. Hello, Peggy. Hi, Mickey. And Starla. Hello, Rhonda. Good to have you guys here. It's Friday. And my intention is it would be drama-free today. Should be. Thanks for joining me. It's Friday all day long. So I'm still not over whatever it is that I had going on. I've been trying really hard to get over it, believe me. Mostly what I've done is slept. I have slept more hours in the last almost 2 weeks than I have slept in several years. Yeah, crazy, isn't it? Hi, Andrea. Hi, Annie. Good to see you too. Hello, ARH. It's not just that I'm tired, Rhonda, but I am here. I think you're right, Linda. Yeah, I went without adequate sleep for a while there. So anyway, I have slept a lot. I've slept a whole lot. Chance has loved every minute of it. He has spent most of the hours that I have been asleep piled right on top of me and taking care of me because he's that kind of kitty. Yes, he's that kind of kitty. He has spent his time snuggling either on me or right beside me, smashed up against me. If I have the hot pad on my lap, just because it's chilly in the downstairs where I usually am, if I have the hot pad on, he thinks that is extraordinarily wonderful because he really likes to have part of his body touching that. Hey, Janet, good to see you today. Hello, CB. Boy, I hope I'm rested, but I just feel like I can hardly put one foot in front of the other. It's crazy. Crazy. Hello, hippie chick. Hi, Linda and Tim. Yeah, right, Janet? I know. So, yeah. I don't know if you'll get much inspiration today. I'm going to show you some stuff because I honestly don't have the energy to do anything. Any of you that are here that are part of the VIP group at HowToGetCreative.com, or if you're watching the recording afterward, there will be no class tomorrow. I'm hoping for next Saturday. I'm not going to promise that until I see how next week, how things go in the next few days, honestly. Yep. I think it must need the sleep. Show and tell is what will happen. How's my ear? My ear doesn't hurt anymore, so that's good. The bone behind my ear is, all of this back here is a little tender, but it is infinitely better. I still can't hear out of this ear much of anything. And so it has me off balance, and I think that's part of what's causing me to sleep so much, because it's just, if I'm sleeping, I don't notice it. I don't know, really, to tell you the truth, I really don't know. By the time hi Angie, by the time I get up and get myself together, I'm ready to go back to bed. That doesn't help much. That doesn't help much. Anyway, it's been quite an adventure. On Sunday, it'll be 2 weeks. So I'm finished with the drug, not having to take much Advil now, so that's really good. I am now in a space of, rehabbing my immune system and just rebuilding my strength, I think. Although I don't know. I'm just going to take it one step at a time. I have not been honestly this kind of under it in years. Years and years. And so it just is what it is. It just is what it is. So anyway, enough about me. Enough about me. There are many people in this world that have far greater challenge than I have. Believe me, I am well aware of that. So I'm not going to be on for very long, but I am here. And so I'm trying to have a smile on my face and have I'm very grateful that I'm upright. I'm very grateful for that. Anyway, on Monday, I was here. I was here for a little bit on Monday, and I showed you part of because I honestly didn't know what else to do. That's the truth of the matter. I'm trying to maintain some consistency. Hi, Terry. And hello to everybody who's coming in. Thanks for joining me. Hi, Kimberly. Thanks for joining me. I'm really glad that you're here. I'm trying to get my energy up. It's just not coming up yet. So, anyway, when you were here, when we were all here on Monday, I showed you my train of thought just sort of took a little sidetrack. On Monday night when I was here, I showed you a little bit of this one journal that I did years ago, and some of you have seen it before, but I thought, I'll show it to you again, because there's always some stuff in it that you might get something from. Hello, Sherry. And anybody else coming in, thanks for joining me. So we're just going to take a look at the desk. How about that? So this is from Lifebook that I did, the Lifebook class that I did back in 2014 with Tam Laporte. And so I thought I would just go through it and just show you the different pages. We didn't make it quite halfway through, or maybe we did get halfway through. Let's see. Because this is week 17. So I guess it's no, it's not halfway through yet. So anyway, Tam Laporte does a year-long class, and I did it this year, which was 2014, and I did part of it the following year. I didn't get all the way through it because the website was getting really busy then. But anyway, I thought I would show go through the rest of it with this. A lot of these, I don't remember exactly what we did. But looking at this, I'm like, I really like the fact that I did these different text styles. That was kind of not textiles, but text styles. And so that was fun to look back at. And the subject of this one, this was with Tasha Parkinson, and the subject of this class was living in now and gratitude. So these are all the things I was grateful for, apparently, and all of these are individually done, elements, and then cut out and attached to the page. So everything is individual, including the text, and all the flowers were done separately and then cut out and put on here after the background was created. So anyway, it's kind of fun to go back and look at these because I haven't looked at them for a while. This was Tracy Batista, this page, and I'm not, let's see if I wrote down what it was. Chance quit. Yeah, I didn't write down what it was. Anyway, this is what I did with Tracy Batista. Let's see, week 16. All right, let me look back at my list. Week 16. In the moment, whatever that was. So anyway, this was what we did. This was actually several different sheets of paper that we created, and then I just created this collage from the 3 different sheets that we did. Plus, I had a bunch of pieces left over, and I did some other stuff with that. But this is highly, highly textured. I don't know that you're going to be able to see it, but highly textured because of using those dimensional paints, the ones that are actually made for fabric. And classes with Tracy Batista are also always very intuitive and free, and a great challenge for me. Super big challenge for me. Thank you, Rhonda. Yeah, if you have things to send to Lena, cards, or very small flat things, stickers, that kind of stuff, do send them to me by the end of the month. I'm going to put my mailing address in here. Okay. So, hang on just a minute. I can't talk and type at the same time. Okay, there you go. So, that's the address. Hi, Barbara. Good to see you. Hi, Barb. I had on my list on yesterday, I had a list of 4 things to do. 4. They were not big things. By the time I got in the car and went to the first place, I went, this is the only one that's going to get done. So I was planning to go to the post office to check the P.O. box and so forth, and nothing got done yesterday. I came back home and went back to sleep. Anyway, so that's that. Okay. So this was the Tracy Batista. Let me zoom in and let me see if you can see the texture on this. There you go. So all of this is heavily textured. Just so you can see, kind of see. And that paint is shiny. So it's a really fun, it's a fun kind of art supply. It's not meant to use on paper, but it certainly works because it's just acrylic paint. It just happens to be washable. Hey, Joyce. Okay, this one, I want to say this is Diane Reevely. Looking for what it is. Yeah, this is Diane Reevely. And this was Springtime Journaling. That's what this is. So this was a Diane Reevely page. Lots of use of her inks. Again, things made separately and then attached to the page. So not all of the, most of this is done separately and then attached to the background. This one was Leslie Riley, and that's Charlie Boy, and that's Chance. And these were done, this was image transfer, is what this is. And so that's what I did on this. So this was separate. This was stenciling in the background and stamps, and then this was added as an image transfer. And this one, who is this? This was a black and white portrait. Let me see, I can tell you here in a second. Black and white portrait. Yeah, that's all I have written down. I don't know who that was with, but anyway, it's black and white done on top of a text background, so you see the text coming through. This one was with Tam Laporte, this one, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And so this was an animal totem pole, and so there's the rest of the animals. Very much in Tam Laporte style. Lots of fun to do. Tam Laporte, follow along with her. Nobody can do Tam Laporte the way Tam does her, and that's a good thing. But this was fun to do a flip down. This was also Tam Laporte. I did several of these. I did these. This is the original, I think. No, it's not. This is a color copy of the original. The original was a lot bigger, but this was a stag, and this was another one that I did. So this was the one from the class. This was the second one that I did, but these are done using Diane Reevely's inks. And this was a lot of fun to do, but this is a copy of the original artwork. So, Tam Laporte. This one is a class with Serena Bridgman. That's what this one was. This was a very hard class for me to do. Very hard. It's really tough for me to work faces in colors that are not realistic. And so this was really a challenge. This was a huge challenge. I'm really happy with it now. As I look back at it, it's like, yeah, I was successful with it. But boy, at the time, it was supposed to be much more translucent and all that. And I didn't accomplish that at all. But, you know, c'est la vie. This one is the next one here. This is a Jane Davenport. You know, the way Lifebook worked then, and I don't know how it is now, but the way it worked then is that every teacher had a regular class, and then they had like a small, short class too. So I showed you the one from Jane Davenport on Monday, which was a pop-up thing. That was her regular class. This one was like the warm-up or the maybe the kind of introduction to her style, but this is Jane Davenport. She's known for the spindly legs, long hair. Her style has changed somewhat since then, of course, because this was in 2014, but you can still recognize Jane Davenport's style. Hey, Ruth, good to see you. This was Jenny Belly. Here. Be quiet. So this is Jenny Belly. She's an artist from the UK, and she's known for doing girls, and so lots of journaling, which of course is right up my alley because I do lots of journaling anyway. And then all of these, this was journaling just kind of random journaling, and then cut into the various layers for flowers, and then added, so all of the layers of the flowers are separate, and then just attached to the page with a brad. This one was Effie Wild. That was her page that we did. I'm not quite honestly, I like the cat, and I find this style of lettering interesting, but yeah, that page leaves me feeling just totally cold. Totally cold. I don't care for that one. This one was different kinds of image transfer using contact paper, I believe. And this is I don't know who it is, honestly. But this was a bunch of old images from a magazine. The lettering is not, but all the images are old images from old magazines that I found, and they're put on, there's a image transferred using tape, like cellophane, big wide cellophane tape. It's the same thing, except this is using contact paper. So if you look that up, you'll know what I'm talking about. Or maybe you've done it before and you know what it is. So that's that. It's a lot of fun to do. You can do the big images using contact paper. You're not limited to the width of the tape. This one was Kate Thompson. So that's what this one was, Kate Thompson. An angel, and I don't know what the text is in the background. It's been too long ago since I did it, but she was marginally successful. Hi, Sophia. And this was another one. This was the same person who did these. Marika, I don't know, Marika's like Blockland. Marika Blockland, I think is her name. She's maybe in the Netherlands, but I don't remember. Anyway, this was another, the short, like the bonus thing that she did was this one. She's known for these long-necked, out of proportion characters, or at least she was then. I don't know what she does now. This is a Tam Laporte page on, this was a study about the eye, and again using the inks from Diane Reevely. And that was a really fun page to do because I really enjoy eyes, and so that was fun to do. I enjoyed that a lot. Don't know that I could do it again without going back and rewatching the class, but it was a lot of fun to do. Let's see. This was a Finnebear class. Finnebear, I think, Anna Dabrowska, I think this was her page. This was a photograph from my dad. It was an old photograph that I took the background out by scratching it, and then all the rest of it, I don't remember exactly what was involved, but because I like words and quotes, then I incorporate it. I always incorporate that in what I do. This was a handmade stamp that I carved, the kite, and this is week 34. Let's see who did week 34. Kat Geller, Cosmic Smash Booking. I don't know. Anyway, so that was this page. So it was a lot of mixed media background, but this was, the stamps were, found stamps, and then this was a stamp that I carved. So this is the same thing, just two different kinds of paint. This was a fun one to do. This was Carissa Page, this one. It's fun Artsy Abode was the name of this. This was a fun one. It's fun every once in a while to do something that makes you really uncomfortable, that's fantasy. I'm much more comfortable doing stuff that's fantasy than to do something like this one that is supposed to be more of a real image, a real person, because you get to get I get really judgmental about, how something looks, where this doesn't make any difference. She's just fun to do, So this one was a lot of fun. This is clearly another Tam Laporte page. Tam would fill in anytime any of, there was something that would come up in somebody's life, which is, would do, of course. Tam would fill in if somebody couldn't do something. So she bears a lot of responsibility for that class. Are these done on watercolor paper? It's either watercolor paper or mixed media paper, Ruth, and I'm not sure which. Probably watercolor paper, because it's 9 by 12, so probably watercolor paper. So anyway, this is a Tam Laporte page. I don't capture the translucency in the artwork that Tam gets and what she does. I tend to go too. She gets a lot of translucency, and I fight that. And once you go too far past the translucent stage, you get opaque real fast. And so, nobody does Tam like Tam does. That is for sure. Hi, Tara. Hi, Shu. This was another Tam Laporte. This was a Tam Laporte spread. This whole thing was a 2-page Tam Laporte spread. She uses lots of butterfly wings and lots of trees that grow from, unusual places. She does lots of these kinds of things. She does way more than this with the ornamentation at the top of the page. She does very interesting backgrounds. And this is, sort of one of her faces. It's not, certainly is not. One of the things that's challenging with her faces is she's got all the collage stuff often in the background. Not always. Sometimes she'll do the face and then collage around it. In this case, there was collage under it. And she uses a lot of gray in her faces, which is really hard for me to do. Very hard for me to put gray in the faces because I tend to make them look dead. And so anyway, there's that. This was, who was this? This was Leslie Riley. I think this was another one of those image transfer kinds of things. So this was a picture that my husband took, and then we were to cut doors. As I recall, we cut doors and we added things that we were that in that moment we were grateful for. So although it might seem weird to put a blender, that was something that was new, and I was able to make smoothies, real smoothies, for the first time. So I was really grateful for that. So there's Clausman with his, this was a wall hanging I did for him. This was a wall hanging of that looked like his dog, Bo. Quilted wall hanging. I did that for him for Christmas that year. And this was when my revised edition of my book came out. So anyway, that's what that one was. And this tissue paper in the background, this was a tissue paper that came from Walmart at one point. I bought a couple of packages of it, which I am so grateful that I did, because I have used it over and over and over again. This one is, this was a Tam Laporte page. This was on expressive flowers. That's what this was. Using inks to make expressive flowers and writing with the, I think with the tube end of the sprays, because this is all done with sprays. This one is Christy Tomlinson. Nobody does Christy Tomlinson the way Christy does. I am only marginally successful with capturing her style. She is very loose and wonderful in what she does, and it's real hard to capture, do her style. And what I would do when I was going through these classes, I was trying really hard to do what the teacher was showing, because that's the only way that you learn. You learn by mimicking. And at least most of us do. Not everybody, but most of us learn by mimicking. And so I was trying to really capture what the teacher was doing. And, sometimes I was successful with that, sometimes not, This is another Tam Laporte page, Keep Swimming. So this was one of her character whales. She always adds the wings. There's a sailboat back here. This was fun. Doing the moon this way was fun. Putting a face in the moon, that was a lot of fun. I love doing the background on this. I do remember that. There's gold, iridescence and stuff. That was a really fun one to do. I like the little dangles off the moon face. But if you look at Tam's artwork, she typically has a lot more than that going on. Hi, Peg. Yeah, he does want catnip. He's being a total pain in the you-know-what. This was Tasha Parkinson. Yeah, Parkinson. This was her bonus class. And so under the feathers are all of the, whatever the affirmations or whatever that I was working on. That's fun to do too, is to make cutouts in your artwork. Something so simple as this, and make the cutouts. And it's a way of hiding the journaling, but you can still incorporate it, into the piece. You can see how the feathers are three-dimensional. The background has clouds in it, and I don't remember how I did these clouds. I think it was probably a white pencil, like a white colored pencil, like a white Prismacolor, and they have just patterns in the clouds. That was a fun one to do. The difference between the master and the beginner is that the master has failed more times than the beginner has tried. Yep, for real. This, I think, was a Tam Laporte page. This was a paint over collage. So this was an image of me, and that I put down and then painted over it. Only partially successful, but whatever. This one was from Serena Bridgman did this one. And my favorite part of this is the little lion. That's my favorite part of him peeking out from around her dress. I think he's really cute. He's one of my favorites. This was an interesting page to do. Again, just trying to capture the teacher's style. This one was quite a challenge for me, and this was done on fabric. And I can't remember who did that, but this was done on fabric, and she was meant to be kind of statue-like. Again, lots of grays in the face. Hard for me to do that. Really challenging for me to do that. And I forgot how this was done. CB's here. She may know because she did this class too. But this was all done on fabric. I'm pretty sure I think this was fabric too. I know this part was. Anyway, I don't know. She's okay, but she's, Oh, there it is. It was Kate Thompson. And so there's the fabric. It was a old piece of embroidery. This is Diane Reevely. This was from one of her classes about home. And so this is, I don't know that I can even get this out because it's been in here so long. I think it's probably stuck. But this is a big tag that's interwoven in here. So there's slits cut in the image, and then the tag is woven in through that. So here's the bottom of the tag down here. So it's one of those big tags, and so it's just woven in and out of the slots. Hello, Joan. This was Kelly Hernig. That's this one. She's the same one that did, let's see if I can show you this one. So this is her style, this kind of thing, and this. Again, tried to capture what she did. You know, she's one of those that it's hard to capture her style, but anyway, the eggs are made from old maps and so forth. This was from the next year, so I just chucked these in here. This was about, most of these were just extra things from other things I did, but this was from the next year. This was Tam Laporte's class in 2015. This was called Beacon of Light, and she's got crud on her face, which probably came off of that. And this was where I started on the next class, and that's as far as I got, and I never got any further in Lifebook that year. This was a class that we did here on, not a class, but we did this on YouTube or Ustream, I don't know which. These are called Ichabodies, and I did this in watercolor. It was actually originally done in oils. The artist did it in oils, and I did it in watercolor one day. This is a Joanne Sharp piece. Oh, I guess this is still Lifebook that I actually did. So I got to week 3 that year in 2015. But that's a Joanne Sharp, very typical of her style. This was the first week in Lifebook of 2015. And so I don't know what's in here. Probably some journaling or something with this pocket. And yeah. And then this was the last one, the last thing I did, I think. So this was when I finished up Lifebook. And there's the back cover. So there's that. So the cover is done in mixed media style. The letters are very dimensional. I don't know that you can tell that. But the letters are dimensional and added later. This is not my favorite binding style, but it works okay for single pages. Anyway, I did complete the entire class. I don't think I neglected doing any of the lessons because I was determined I was going to do it all the way through. Anyway, I did. Hello, Esther. Okay, then the other thing I was going to show you today is, this was a thing I did a long time ago, but I thought some of you, it's been ages. Hi, Janet. It's been ages since I've shown this to you, so I thought maybe it was time I could show it to you again. It might even be new to a lot of you. I was reminded about this on Instagram the other day, and it's all here in this bag, so we're going to take it out. I haven't looked at this in a long time, and I have more stuff that goes with this somewhere else, but I couldn't find it. I looked a little bit, and my energy level just isn't up to digging around, so I didn't go any further. Anyway, I love children's art. And I totally love taking children's art, what I call kid art. I love taking kid art and turning it into, translating it into actual different ways of preserving it. Because often it's done on little bitty scraps of paper and stuff, you know. And I just enjoy taking kids' art and turning it into something that's more permanent. So I'm just getting stuff out here so you can see. And I have a thing that I did as a kid. It was a cat made with, excuse me, it was made with like vinyl or naga hide or something. And it's here somewhere, but I don't know. I thought I could just like put my hand right on it, but nope. No, I couldn't. So I could not find it. So I'm just sorting these into the into the little piles that they go in. So if you'll indulge me just a moment. But I thought you guys might enjoy seeing some of these different ways. If I had the piece that I did as a kid, where you could actually see it, it would make a difference. You would enjoy it more, but one of these days I'll run onto it and I'll show it to you. How about that? How about that? Okay, so I have the original kids' art here from 3 of my grandchildren. So you have to keep all this stuff so you can prove that you did the art, that you didn't steal it from somebody. You know what I mean? So I end up keeping all this stuff. And when my oh, here we go. At least I have a picture of the cat. This is good. I don't have the actual cat, but I have pictures of it. Yeah. I just love figuring out ways to translate the art that kids do into a way that you can keep it. And it honors the child. That's the thing. It makes kids feel important. Okay? And that's why I think we need to preserve their art. Where this all started way back, and this is years back. I don't even know if I dated any of these. Normally I do date stuff, but probably not in this instance. I saw somebody on a TV show one time who was taking children's art. It may have been on YouTube. I don't know. And they were taking the children's art and then translating it into, into silver and making necklaces out of the children's art for, the parents. And I thought that is such a good way to do this. Okay, so let's take a look at this stuff. First thing I'm going to show you is the children's art, and then we'll go through some of the other things, okay? So I have 3 grandchildren, and I have 3 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. Stop it. 1 great-grandchild who is the daughter of Christy, my granddaughter. And when I was married to Clausman, he had been married 2 times before he married me. With his first wife, he had 2 children. And his oldest child was 10 when we got married. Both his first and second wives were killed in car accidents, along with his youngest child. So when I married him, it was just him and his 10-year-old daughter. So she, who is my stepdaughter, is the mother of my grandchildren. Like you care, but, sometimes people go, are these racist children? It's like, no, they're not. No, they're not his children. So there you go. Okay. So here's some of the kid art that I saved from the grandchildren. Christy did this when she was in 5th grade. I don't know who did this. I can't read it. Anyway, I love children's art. This, I may have taken some of this off the internet. Those, I think, came off the internet. But when the kids were here with me, I always had them draw things. And this was from my grandson Eric when he was in 6th grade. I always had the kid, when you're doing artwork with children, honor them by having them sign it and date it always. And if you can put the year that they were in school, even better. This is on awful paper. It has yellowed and it's terrible, but I still have the drawing. This was, and tell me the name of it, this was Star Planet. So he told me the name, he wrote that down, sign and date. But I always kept their artwork, and most of the time I'd put it on the refrigerator. This was another one by Eric, and he called it Crystal Lake. So this was another one that he did. Very typical to have a sun up in the corner. This was Crystal Lake by Eric. He is now grown, of course, and has 2 children of his own. And this one was Christy when she was in 5th grade. So you can just about see it, Christy. She was in 5th grade. Another rendition of a sun and flowers and clouds and rain. I just love to see how children interpret the world. And this one was from my other grandson, and this is the art right here. And this says, I love to RL and Graham from Travis. So I don't know who that is, but and this was one we did not get the date on. And although this hung on the refrigerator forever, I don't know who that was. This was also from Travis in 1993. And so this was his, I think it was a beaver that he did. And so I used that in different ways. So this was the beaver that he did in 1993. This was another piece that Eric did in 98. I always love kids' rendition of houses. This is a tree, I suppose. This was another one by Travis. I loved this. I love this character. I translated this into several different pieces. And this was from Christy in 1998. So this is from Christy, this little girl, done in crayon. Okay, so, and I'm not sure where this cat came from, but anyway, we'll just set that aside because I don't remember. And here was another piece that Christy did. She did this in school, I think, and she was going to throw this away. And I said, oh no, Graham will keep that. And so this is the actual artwork done on the pillow. Okay, so from those various original artwork things that I showed you, this was the house that Eric did. This is done in fabric. And it's mounted on a stretched canvas with, I think I just painted the back. There's tissue paper back here in the background. But I redid this, reproduced it as accurately as I could. See if I can find the house again so you can see it. This is much easier to do when you don't have a cat on your lap. Here it is. So this is there's his original artwork, and this is translated into, recreated in fabric. So this was done as a little mini quilt, machine quilted. I reproduced his signature. Okay, here's his signature up here in the corner under the paper clip. And so I stitched that on as accurately as I possibly could, and used the buttons to attach the quilt. So these are where the little buttons are attaching this little quilt to the background. So you can see the background is machine stitched to create the clouds. This is done in free motion stitching to recreate his tree. And I tried to do it as accurately as I possibly could. So the windows and everything were done as much like he did them. He didn't have a door. He didn't have a walkway. So there's no door, there's no walkway, and so I reproduced it just the way he did. I did add some grass down here because he had some kind of grasses in here, although I changed the color. So there's that one. Okay, and then this one I did in quite a few different renditions because I just loved this this little character that Christy did. So this is her character. Okay. Oh, good, Janet. I hope you do. I hope you enjoy it and go for it. So I took her original little drawing and I reproduced it in many different ways. So first of all, I scaled it up. So I increased that, and then I took some of her other drawings and took bits and pieces from her other drawings. And then I made a map of it on tissue paper, or on, tracing paper. I separated the back so that it would be more interesting. And then I turned it into a piece of fiber art. So this is the same piece, which started from this with a little bit of embellishment from Graham. I kept everything that she had and then embellished it a little bit. And I added clouds that she had used in some of her other drawings, and she had one that she had flowers, so I added the flowers here. I sectioned off the background so that it was more interesting in the background and more kid-like. This is the sun from one of her pieces, and then this is her signature from this one. So I free motion stitched her signature in here. So I'll zoom in so you can see this closer, because it's kind of fun. This piece I worked on a long time. There's the back, and I put a sleeve on it so it can be hung with the sleeve. And then this is just, which I created this cording. This is just, you know, I put a pin in or something, put a pin in the wall, but it's not actually supporting the weight of this piece because it's fairly heavy. Okay, so just so you can see, I'll give you a good look. So lots of free motion stitching on this one, trying to stay with the idea, communicating the idea of the piece as well as the artwork of the child. So I did swirly stitches to indicate the clouds, kept the movement of the sky with the stitching, lots and lots of stitching. There is her little figure, which I did with applique. So this is put on with an applique. That's how she did the belly of the girl. And there are her flowers and her signature. Chance, he's now into the catnip. He's just knocked it off the table. He's knocked the catnip off the table. So I'm going to attempt to get up and give him some. If I look like I'm walking like a drunken sailor, it's because that's accurate. Okay, come on. Come on. My equilibrium is still a little bit off. So I'm starting to be a little careful. Anyway, there's that. So that is done in fabric. Hello, Anne. Okay, so now that you see, now that I've explained it to you, now you can get the idea of the piece. And then this was cording that I created in order to frame it. Okay. But that came from this one little drawing done on a piece of scrap paper. Okay, so other renditions of this. This is the same image, just done differently. This is done in different kinds of metal. So this is copper, lightweight copper sheet. And so all of this, and then it's painted. The couple of places are painted. These two pieces are embossed, and with some of the embossing plates from the vintage line from Ranger, and then the patina paints on top of that. So that's what this is, and then made into a card. This is another card. This is the actual artwork. This is done with different, same image, just interpreted slightly differently. This is paste paper. All of this is paste paper. This is paint. This is done in different kinds of paste papers, and the flowers also. This is paste paper, and so is this. Okay. And then this is a color copy, so you can get more bang for your buck by making sure that you copy things and then use them again. The color copies, unless you go to a copy store and have laser prints, this is an inkjet, unless you go and have laser copies done, your colors are always going to be duller with most inexpensive inkjet printers, which is what this is. So, but if you never saw this, it would be fine. Once you see it, you go, oh, this is so much better. Well, yeah, it is, but you know, it's because this is the original piece. This is another one of the, this is the same kind of thing as this, just done bigger. So these are the same kinds of metal pieces. This is that copper sheeting. Could be copper flashing. I don't know. I don't remember how I did it now, but anyway. Same thing, just two different sizes. Again, done on greeting cards. This is the same as this one, just made, mounted on a card base. So mounted on a card base to make it, give it more presence. And I'm all about honoring the kid, you know. And here's another one done, mounted differently than this one on a different size card. So by doing different colors in the background, you know, you get different looks. So there's that. All right. And then, because you can always do more, okay, you can always do more. Then I sawed this one out of, so this was like, would be like an ornament to hang on a tree, or you could put it on a keychain or something, but this is actually sawed out of copper. So this is not the copper, the thin stuff. This is like probably 20 or 22 gauge copper. And then this is brass and a little tiny piece of silver, because silver is expensive. So I used the little belly piece out of silver. So that's sterling silver there. This is brass. So each of those pieces were sawed out with a jewelry saw, and then I glued them together as opposed to soldering them together. and then I used a punch and a hammer to create the features. So that is that. So another way to interpret it. And then one final piece, and this, I took some artist license with this one. So I took the same basic little girl but reinterpreted her and created her in paper clay so that she could be a seated figure. So she's done in paper clay, air dry clay, and then painted. So similar but not the same. So I got a lot of bang for my buck out of that little piece of, out of this little image right here. I got all of that from that. So there's that one. Okay. All right. I know I should probably have done something for you guys today, but there just wasn't enough energy to do it. So. This is better than nothing, right? Okay, and then I took some of the flowers from the piece that I showed you in the little wall hanging, which came from some of her other flowers. And I turned those into, so the same flowers I turned into a bookmark. And these were little metal, I don't know where, I don't even know where you get them now. It's been too long, but they had colored metal sheets available for a while. And so that's what this is. So this is metal that you can cut with scissors. This one's done in paste papers. And this was a different one of the papers, again, interpreted in paste paper, and both of these are done as cards. So you can get a lot. You can just, they're so charming because they're actual children's artwork. I think there's just so much charm to those. Okay, so this one, the beaver, let's see. Here's the beaver. So this beaver is from here, okay? So this is the artwork on a branch. And so this is taking that, his art. Hopefully you can see it. So I tried to recreate it as much as possible except for this. You have to take some artist license into account, and if you have something that just goes straight up and doesn't relate to anything, just take it out. You have artist license. But this again is that copper sheeting, and then because I was trying to recreate the strokes of the crayon that he used, that was what I did by debossing into the copper. And then this was my caption, "Hey, want to play?" So I really liked how that turned out. These are just put on with glue. But these are, this is the actual art. This is the actual metal. These are not copper, or not copies. Okay, so there's that one. I think that was the only one I did of that. And then this guy, I absolutely loved this. Absolutely loved it. And so I did him a couple of different ways. Yeah, a couple of different ways. So this one is, he had this second, I guess, head. I don't know. And so I did this guy. And then I took artist license with this one because I don't think I had another one that he drew from this. I just sort of used this guy as a pattern, kind of, included him. So I kind of used artist license on this, but these are those different pieces of metal. That metal, I don't know, whatever. This was probably metal tape in here, and this. but I debossed into a lot of it just to give it some texture and color and put them on a card. And then I did the same, used the same character, and I did him as another fabric quilt. Okay, so fabric quilt, so it's one of those little, almost a postcard size, but this is the same guy, almost the same size. And then I recreated his signature, and you can see the A, his A right here, is this is when he was just really learning to write. And so I recreated the A exactly the way he did it. And this has a lot of machine stitching on it. So I'll give you a real close up. So lots of stitching in the background. Lots of stitching on the little character to give him dimension and presence. And then all of the outlining is done with free motion stitching. So that is that guy. So that and that, different ways of interpreting the same little image. Okay. If you have any of your kids' artwork or grandchildren's artwork, I highly recommend that you spend some time making their artwork permanent. I do. And this is that cat that I don't know where this cat came from. I have no idea where this cat came from. Could have come from an image online. It could have been from one of the kids' images. I have no idea. It could have been something I made up. I don't think so, because I'm not that creative. But anyway, I like that. There's another cat. And this is another one of those little quilts. And it's stitched onto a stretch canvas using those little buttons, so it is not gluing the little quilt is not glued down in any way. It's free from the background. So if I wanted to take this off, I could. This is tissue paper covering the canvas, and I love making my own cordings, and so that's what's around the outside edge. I do that a lot. Yeah, I do that a lot. Hello, Amber. Okay, so there's that one. All right, now I'm going to show you the thing that I did, and I spent a lot of time interpreting this many ways, many different ways. And I even have this interpreted in a piece of metal, but I could not find it. So you'll get the idea. First of all, here is the original artwork. I don't remember when I did this, but I was really small. And so I still have this somewhere, I think. It's a piece that's probably about 10 inches tall. And this is it. So it is stitched together. I don't know what adult, decided this was a good idea to do, but these were stitched together. It was stuffed with, I don't know, rags or something. This is the tail made of yarn. It's painted with features, and I don't remember making it. I just remember that it was mine. I mean, I have a vague memory of making it. What I have around here, the black line, is where I made a color. I took a picture of this cat, and then I started sectioning things off so that I could reproduce it in different art forms. Okay, so here's one. So this is done in paste paper. So the nose and the whiskers were painted on, and so were these lines were painted on. The eyes are separate. The green is separate. This is pearl cotton. And the stitching around the outside to simulate the original piece is I punched holes and then I whip stitched around the outside edge and made a card. Meow means woof in cat. So there's that one. Here's another rendition of it. You can see what it looks like on a colored background and then what it looks like on a black background with some alterations. So similar but different. This is another one. This is that metal. I don't know if you can see. This is probably silver metal tape with the patina paints or alcohol ink. I don't know which. And this, the collar I put on, I embossed it through with one of the little embossing folder by Vintage by Ranger. And so that is that. So again, similar but different. This time doesn't have a tail, doesn't have the stitching around the outside edge. And this is a traveler's notebook. And so this was a piece of fabric paper that I did. Okay, so this is fabric paper. So it is muslin with tissue papers and stuff attached to it and then machine stitched on it. And then I took the same cat. It's the exact same size. I mean, I got some mileage out of this cat, let me tell you. And this was that, I think this was the silver metal tape. And I debossed into it just by scratching different patterns into it. And then I added the copper metal, probably copper flashing that I could cut with shears or scissors, and I put that on the top. I'd have to go back and look at what I did to tell you for sure, but this is probably alcohol ink back here in the background. Same cat. Each one's done a little bit differently. And then I also have this cat interpreted. Yet again, I sawed it out of metal and I made it into a necklace and, you know, put red something yarn or something. I can't remember. It's been too long ago. Anyway, so I got a lot of mileage out of that cat. So that is what I did. So I thought I would give you maybe some things to think about to encourage you to deal with your own children's or grandchildren's artwork. I'm looking forward to my great-granddaughter kicking out some stuff. She's 15 months now. And so at any point now, she should be starting to produce some artwork. So we'll have to do something with her stuff here before long. And then I have one last piece to show you. This is a piece that my son did when he was, you all know, Race. And this he did when he was really little. This is mud. This is literally mud. And as I remember, he called him Pedro, but he made this years and years and years ago. There's his mouth. And so it's a little sculpture made out of mud. It's dry. It has been in a shadow box in my studio for years and years. And I have used Pedro. You can see how tiny he is. I have used him to do line drawings with. In a class I did with Carla Sondheim one time, I did, you know, she was like, get some things that kids did and then practice drawing them. And I was looking, I have the drawing someplace where you just looked at the piece and did the drawing. I have the drawing here somewhere, but, you know. I have, up until the point that I really got waylaid with taking care of my husband, I generated a lot of artwork, a lot of stuff. And so, yeah, it needs to be organized better than it's organized right now. I do well to do what I did with this, was just to put it all in a plastic bag and label it kid art so I knew it was all together. So Anyway. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Hi, Joni. Yeah, you should do something with it. Hi, Dorothy. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to go because I have used up my energy for you guys. There isn't any left. For a while, it's time for me to go back to sleep for a while. Someday this is going to get over with. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad you were here. And I plan to be back Monday night if all goes well. Until I'm really feeling 100%, I may keep the stream shorter for a while. So I don't know what we'll do, but if all else fails, I'll drag out something else to show you. Okay. Thanks for being here, everybody. And I will see you on Monday. Until then, I've given you ideas for getting creative. So get out your stuff and play with it. You can always tag me on Instagram or Twitter. Dorothy says she can remember one summer spending hours in what used to be the hen house in the garden, making cakes and things out of mud and chalk for icing. How fun. Thanks, everybody. Remember to get creative today because you know it's easy, right? And I'll see you again probably on Monday. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.